before attempting suicide, almost everyone gives out a signal. The mistake that we often make is we don't recognize those signals early. So it becomes imperative to understand what are the warning signs. Among the few common warning signs that are again evidence-based, few things like withdrawal from family and friends. So a previously very sociable person suddenly becomes very withdrawn. You have to suspect that something wrong is going on. Or somebody who is known to be a very cautious person suddenly indulges in some reckless acts like drunken driving and things like that. Social isolation, continue not at all mixing with others, isolating themselves. Even if somebody calls a person out, no, I prefer to stay at home. Having low grade ideas, what will happen, mentioning some thoughts like what will happen if God were to take my life away. Now this means that these people are contemplating about suicide, has not really gone to the extent of making an attempt or something like that, but they are contemplating. Anxiety, substance use. Previously a person who is not known to use substances now begins to consume alcohol excessively, or begins to show a lot of agitation, anxiety, impulsive behaviors. These kind of changes in an individual should warn us that something is going wrong and we should initiate a discussion about suicide. Another wrong concept that many people have is, okay, if I talk about suicide to somebody, will I be actually planting the ideas in his head? If he doesn't have such an idea at all, will discussion about suicide actually trigger such thoughts? There is no scientific basis at all for this kind of a myth or misconception. Merely asking about suicide doesn't plant the idea in somebody's head. On the other hand, the person to whom this question is being posed will feel relieved. Okay, at least this person understands the extent of the distress I'm going through. He's able to appreciate that I can even contemplate suicide. So maybe it's normal for people to think this way. Maybe I'm not really weird or anything like that in thinking like this. It gives some sense of comfort and solace to the individual that, okay, somebody is empathizing with me. So we should recognize the warning signs of suicide early and inquire about it and take for proper help to a psychiatrist or a psychologist so that the correct intervention can be done. If you are really concerned that asking about suicide will plant the ideas in somebody's head, you feel it's not the right approach at this time, you can rephrase your questions intelligently. You can say, for example, okay, now you're saying you're feeling very sad, you're feeling very low, you're not able to contribute to the family. Many people who have these thoughts think that ending their life is one way out of their troubles. Has such a thought ever occurred to you? So now I am not putting the blame on the patient. I am not actually asking the patient whether you have had such ideas. I am just contextualizing it. I am just saying that many people who have these thoughts do end up thinking about suicide, and whether this has occurred to you. So it is part of a normalizing question. So the patient doesn't feel very odd or stigmatized to report if such an idea occurs. They're more likely to come up and open up about such ideas to you. If we feel that somebody is at a high risk for suicide, there are some preventive measures, or rather I would say time buying tactics that we can put in place. Now, okay, if we have decided that we need to take to a mental health professional, but if we are in a terrain where mental health is not readily available at hand, we need to buy some time, 2 or 3 days. What we can do, we can initiate something called universal high risk measures, and these include putting somebody, some attender with the patient 24/7. So, and when I mean 24/7, it is 24/7 because we have had some experiences where just for 5 minutes the patient went to the bathroom unattended and he has hung himself from the ceiling there. So even if the patient goes to the bathroom, he must be instructed to keep his door open, or somebody must accompany. Any sharp objects like blade, knife, which can be used to injure themselves or cut themselves, must be kept away from the reach of the patient. For a female patient, preferably do not dress up in sari and all where the ends can be used to strangulate themselves. So wear very loose clothing, not very tight, and things which cannot be used to strangulate themselves. And keep all prescription drugs away from the reach of the patient so that they do not overdose. So these are some universal high risk precautions which can be put in place both as a preventive measure and as a time buying tactic till you initiate a formal mental health consultation and intervention.
Very often the family would know that the person is going through some depression and is upset with something in life, but they don't foresee, they're not prepared to accept that, okay, this person, my brother, sister or friend may commit suicide. We never know what will actually trigger. So if people are depressed, anything, a very small incidents can actually trigger, and they may decide to take this drastic step. So it is better for all of us to be alert, and when we see people around us, if they are upset over something, they are depressed or they are stressed, the best thing is to share and talk. Nowadays we get busy in our personal lives with our own work, family, and we don't try to see what is happening to the other person very near to us, very close to us. So we need to be alert. If we find somebody stressed, we need to talk. Sitting and talking can help a lot. When a person is depressed, sharing may release a lot of stress, may help the person to come out of depression, and the person may defer the decision of suicide if they are already contemplating. And we should be mentally prepared that, okay, yes, this is a possibility, this is happening nowadays. Anybody amongst us can commit a suicide. It's not that such and such person cannot commit suicide. Anybody, however mentally strong, can become weak at time, and triggering factors present, they may take the drastic decision. So we need to be alert and keep talking.